My name's Dave Carter. I'm from Manchester City Council. We run the Manchester Living Lab through the Manchester Digital Development Agency. And the importance of the One project for us is it gives an opportunity really to embed a lot of the learning we've taken from this and other projects into a long-term process that will actually sustain new development, whether that comes from structural funds or whether it comes from the other projects we've been involved in through the framework programs. But essentially what the Living Lab does is act as an observatory in the sense that it engages citizens, it engages local businesses, it engages civil servants and politicians, so at all levels of society, in the way that technology can be used to create jobs, to increase skills and improve the quality of life for local people. So we're looking at the City Council's own services, we're looking at opportunities for start-up businesses, for people to learn skills at any age. So we have young people in primary school, aged 9 and 10, learning coding, and we have people who are retired in their 60s and 70s and even 80s, who are what's often called silver surfers, who are learning to use this technology for their own use, maybe to have teleconferencing and video conferencing with their grandchildren, or to use it for access to services. So that concept that the Living Lab is an active observatory, and the other way around, that an observatory is a living lab, is a really important outcome of the One project for us.
Future programming period is another chance for the Czech Republic how to use structural funds to be more developed. And the digital agenda definitely is one of very important aspects of the whole, not only for the whole preparatory process, but for the programming period as such. Therefore, the Czech Republic has a great ambition to prepare the future drawing of European funds in a more simple way, more transparent way, among others using by electronic communication.
If I think about the challenges of actually moving Europe forward, the simple three come to mind, which is bureaucracy, which is politics, and which is the member states. On bureaucracy, it's shockingly inefficient, it's shockingly unproductive, and there's a real need to change that, and that's a change of mindset. On politics, we think of the first 2 years and the last 2 years, and we think of leaders that are thinking about themselves, and they shouldn't. They should think about what leading is really about. And on member states, they're designed around the past, and maybe that's not the way we need to design around the future and the issues that face us. Now, if we spend all our time focusing on fixing those problems, we're stupid. We actually need to accept that some people will move those things forward, but more important, we need to understand that in times of paradigm shift, you need to really focus on new things. So what are those new things? I see three. I see people and the ability for public administration to really deeply understand and engage people so they actively participate, and that's absolutely vital. On data, the ability of technologies to collect enormous amounts of data and fundamentally change the way that we design and operate the whole world is vitally important, and turning that data into information, collecting that data at a local level, using modern technology, sensors, is absolutely key. And the third thing is that if we move to what we call smart cities as the solution is always local, and we do it always locally, we'll end up with lots of railroad tracks with different gauges. We must understand how to cause standardization and protocols to build the frameworks by which these local solutions can be built and generated and shared. And so those three things, I think, are about designing a new paradigm.
because now you have so many data going all over, and citizens are very frightened also by privacy and security issues. And if we are using a lot of data, but the important also is to understand what data we have to use, how we have to use, with whom we have to use, and not just saying big data and cloud is fantastic. We have to really understand what it is about.
Well, results are, let's say, mixed. At one hand, structural funds brought real hope that Slovakia could become a very developed country in terms of e-government. But at the same time, structural funds are unreliable, unstable in terms of project management, and therefore it's not very efficient. Well, my personal, and not just personal, but also professional feeling is that structural funds are really, let's say, ripe for structural reform. We need to change the procedure, and we need to change the way how they are operated. So keep it simple.
Digital local agenda at European level is really important because of what? Because we have this digital agenda for Europe, but these are the major objectives for the whole Europe. Things are done at local level, at local and regional level. So these measures, very high level defined in the digital agenda for Europe, can only be materialized in local level. People have to access this information, must have these examples given by the European Commission about all these measures, all these actions. Of course, it is really important to have this information, these examples, but the work is always done at local level. Citizens change and citizens want to change their lives, and the people that has the power, the politicians that have the power to change their lives are the people in local level, in municipalities. So, as a summary of this, digital agenda for Europe is a very huge challenge, but the work must be done close to citizens to understand their needs and to understand very well what must be done in the field. There's also a big difference between the strategies, the needs, and the structural funds. That's a problem because, people that plans structural funds and frameworks is concerned about interesting and important things, but not always addressing the needs and the way to implement the things, the project and the initiatives. So the idea, in my opinion, is to put together and give feedback to those planning the structural funds and the structural funds preparing the program, having in consideration what must be done. Nothing completely different from the needs and from the realities. We have several things, several ways of living in the whole Europe. People want to live in the same way. They don't want to live like people in other regions. They want to have the same conditions, to have good conditions, good living, not living the same way. So the point is, define very good structural funds, programs addressing all these questions, and give the power to those that are capable to implement.
equally. In small workshops you get to discuss on a more one-to-one basis how to exchange things, and you can get into more of the details of the practices and of the lessons learned. In these larger sessions we get a gist of what other people have done, and it often offers ideas for possible new things to be done, and great opportunity for networking. And it also helps the dissemination of projects in general. So I think both kinds of events are right in some way. I think that one should bear in mind that the conference does not end here. It is very important to further analyze and have a look at the proceedings and at all the abstracts that have been submitted, to see opportunities of collaboration, of further in-depth analysis of different realities that may impact our own, and lessons to be learned from other partners, from our possible future partners.